All right, let's go to the Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this. Father, we thank you for this time that we're able to spend together. Father, I thank you for bringing Nathan and Jamie with us right now. Father, their story, Father, is going to help save a soul. Father, how we go through adversity and how we're able to come back to you and how we're able to find love again, including that love that was once there, just rekindled. Father, these are amazing stories that are all due to you, Father. Father, I ask that you sit with Rob and I and you bring this all together, Father, and we help that one soul. We say this in your name. Amen.
Almost sounds like Creed.
Welcome back, Rob.
Yo, sorry about that.
You're a dick.
I didn't mean to drink on air.
You are a dick.
I am?
Yes.
I am.
In most parts.
Consider what just took place.
What did I do? Oh, yeah. Yes, I know. I'm King Dick today.
Forgetful Freddy.
Yeah, so anyways, we got Nathan back. Nathan, I'm so happy you're back, man.
I don't suppose you know which episode was his.
Yes, I do. It is number 38.
So go back
38. Yeah, if you have not listened to 38, where Nathan comes in and tells his story, it's from Vegas to, I don't remember the exact name of it, but I looked it up as we were waiting. It is 38 is Vegas to, let's see, 34, 36, 37, 38. It's from Vegas to blackouts to sober victories is Nathan's story. It's an amazing story, Nathan. We got a lot of traction on that one. A lot of people were calling. In fact, some fan mail came in for you that sometimes if you guys, and I'm going to go back to this, if you want to reach out to us and you want to
say it one fucking time with John.
You motherfucker, you're co-host on this too, you prick. You know that, right?
You remember? You threw me off with all this bullshit.
You remember?
Recovery Unfiltered Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, if you want to reach out and to it's Recovery Unfiltered Podcast at gmail.com. Nathan had some fan mail come in through Buzzsprout and I wasn't able to return it, right? And sometimes I see it and I don't see it. So it's just not something we can do. Anyways, we got Nathan back to finish his story. And to finish this story, catch up on because there was some amazing stuff at the end of at the end of 38 that we talked about, and it has come true.
Well, it hadn't happened yet, but he was open to if there's still feelings there, kind of, but
open to it.
Oh, kind of
cracked me up when he said that. I was like, I was cleaning someone's house, and I was cleaning in the bathroom, and I had a laugh, and they're just by myself like. Open to it, babe? Really? I'd be open to it. What is all this? We should get married. You should get back with me. You should take me back. All this. I'd be open to it.
Well, he was with the boys at that time, Jamie. So he had to.
He was acting tough.
I can see why. Yeah.
But you see, that's why we did the cameras because if you could see his face when he was saying that,
sincere.
It was.
Oh my gosh, it was sincere.
Yeah.
And that was the fun part, right? Is when we got to tell his story. I came in to know Nathan very. Nathan had like 3 or 4 years sobriety when I got to know him. But man, when he finished those steps to watch the difference of him going from pre-steps to after steps, his flame was ignited. And it was so fun to watch. And to see him on the mat with Rob, I don't get to see you as much as more because you're not on the Monday night meetings. But man, I get to see you through Rob and watching everything you're doing. And it's fucking incredible. So Nathan, catch us up.
All right. So shortly after, what was that, about 4, maybe 5, 6 months after doing the steps, Jamie had this really big wine cabinet that she wanted me to put together. There was over 100 pieces of this thing probably. And normally I would have been like, just send this shit back. I'm not doing it. But I got to spend time over at their house and with her and my kids, and I spent hours on that thing, which usually I would get super frustrated.
Right.
But I just had so much peace and serenity and calmness that I was able to do that. It took maybe 4 or 5 hours one day and a few hours the next. So I ended up sleeping over on the couch and finally got it done the next day. And then the next weekend or the weekend after that, we ended up going to Monterey and Santa Cruz.
So, and if you go back and listen to episode 38, you'll hear about the first, well, not the first, but, a very nice, not a very good trip to Santa Cruz and San Juan and the Radiator and all that stuff. So go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah. That was the thing. I know she was probably hesitant to go on this trip too.
Were you?
Because
I knew we had a more reliable car this time, so it's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't just the car though. It was
also his changing. I don't know. It hit me all of a sudden, not just that weekend, but talking to him the weekend he was over putting that shelf together for me. I noticed before we had been having long conversations and he was just a totally different person.
Such as?
Just more calm, talking about a lot about acceptance and, just, well, there's nothing we can do about it. And this is stuff I used to tell him. That's what was so funny. Like stuff I used to say to him and now he's saying it to me and I'm like,
Who the hell is this?
But it was great though. It was really good. It was nice. And it made me think that maybe because all the times before, years before, we had tried to work it out and get back together. His, things and his personality that he does when we're in a relationship, because I love who he is now, and that's what I kept thinking. No, I don't want to mess him up by us trying to work things out because that messes it up. Right now, I don't want the girls to know the him that he is when we're in a relationship.
Because it was always bad before.
It was, right. And it would mess him up, and I could tell, and I just didn't want that kind of change to happen. And so I was really hesitant, and I had been praying about it for a long time. It was always in the back of my mind, it'd be nice if we could be a family again. But then I would think back, no, all the times before it didn't work out. And then he turns like this and, jealousy and anger and control things. And I can never go back to that. But it didn't go back to that this time. And I'm still amazed. And I'm still always like, something clicked with him and he has really changed. He really does have a lot more patience than I do. Spiritual awakening, absolutely. Praying more, talking more about prayer and going to God with things. And yeah, just like he says, overwhelming peace. I can tell it's in him now. I can totally see it. And so, knock on wood, it's actually, everything's been going really good. He's doing very good with jiu-jitsu. Miley's in it now.
That's their oldest daughter.
Yeah, she's 14.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's very good. She's got her dad's aggressiveness.
Yes.
And she uses it in a good way, so that's good. And yeah, it's exciting. We're getting ready to go to her and Nathan have a competition on November 22nd.
Where's that at?
Stockton.
You're talking about the arena, right? With the white one?
Stockton, the Civic Arena.
Yeah. My dream? I think I've said this before.
It was there.
It was in that. My original vision for this whole podcast was inside that arena.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's watching you guys and hearing you guys talk about it. It's like, that's where it was at. You know how the stands kind of go up. And
yeah.
It wasn't just me. It was me sitting with three other people. And I still this day don't know who the other three people were. And we were literally sitting down in the middle of that in a round circle, just like this, talking about recoveries and families coming back together.
Wow.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nathan, I wanted to ask you, we talked a little bit about this and I'm going to have some blunt questions, but what did you fight for those first few years of not going through the steps and what changed to get you to actually say, I am getting these steps and my life's going to change?
Well, we kind of went over that the last time I was on.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why I didn't do the steps right away, I'm rebellious. I want to do things my way.
Right.
Not the way that
we hear that a lot.
Not the way that it's told to do or suggested, right? I'd seen a couple different guys who had long-term sobriety and never did the steps.
So why not me?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean that was on here has never been in AA and got 10 years sobriety.
But yeah, and then I went through that time period where it was like another jumping off point.
Emotional.
In sobriety. Yeah, I had what I called my emotional bottom and showed up to that Escalon meeting just broken, crying like it was my first meeting ever. And then I seen Rob at the Hula's hamburger stand afterwards, talked with him a little bit. And then on the way home, I called Rob and asked him to get me through the steps. And like Rob says a lot, pain is a big motivator.
Right.
And so I was at that point where I didn't know how to live with or without alcohol again. I knew that drinking wasn't the answer. So, it was just kind of the last thing that I finally surrendered.
Was there anything that led you to that? Was there anything going on in your life at that period of time? Or do you just think it was just starting, the bolt was just starting to tighten a little bit more?
Well, for a while, my living situation had been different, right? So when I first got sober, I was at my mom's house and then...
Right.
And then I moved into...
Your friend's house.
My buddy Joey's mom's house, where he committed suicide and went through that time period. And then
what was that smile about?
Because I said that word a lot in the last podcast, and I was like, oh, there I go again.
That time period.
Time period. Yeah.
He noticed that he said that a lot. I didn't notice it. It's funny.
Yeah, but our life is seasons. I mean, I say season. That was a chapter or season of our life, and that's what same thing that you're talking about. It's just a time period.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have them.
Right. And so I went from a lot of different living situations, you know, with a girlfriend, back with my mom, with roommates. You know, I had like 3 roommates in this one house, and I was there for a couple of years. And then eventually I get into a house out in the country on River Road, and I was there almost 2 years,
By yourself?
all by myself,
Okay.
which was really nice for a while.
Yeah.
But eventually I was in a very, very deep depression.
Lonely?
I was lonely. My kids have grown up a lot, so they don't come over as much. And I was just full of self-pity. Just poor me all the time, you know. The only thing I really did do is go to meetings.
Well, you had the Friday night, your commitment that really kept you, because sometimes that's the only mean you would hit.
Yeah, for maybe a month or 2 months, that was the only meeting I went to. But before that, I was going to meeting every damn day. Like how some people say they hide in meetings.
I've heard that.
So I definitely was doing that for a while. Meetings was my life. That was the only thing I had going for me in my life.
But it kept you sober. I mean, well, maybe not. I mean,
Well, physically sober, yeah.
right. That's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, it kept you out of the bottle.
Yeah. And it really did a lot of good. I had a really good understanding of the steps without doing them.
Right.
I gathered a lot of what everyone said, just rubbed off on me. And so once I did do the steps, everything
Fell into place.
Yeah, for sure fell into place.
I have to say, I noticed, and I was real thankful for, and still, you had a good group of men at the meetings that helped him through. That, I feel like, was a huge help in his life. He had you guys, his group of men, around him, and to lift him up, he could call and to help each other out. I feel like that was a big part of keeping you meetings in that until you did the steps. Yeah.
How long were you sober? And I know you've talked about this before, but I just want to remind everybody, how long were you sober before you did the steps?
Almost 6 years.
Yeah. That's, so I'm the guy I'm walking through the steps right now. You said something a minute ago that, same thing, doesn't like authority, it's not that he doesn't like authority, but the authority, he's rebellious, it's just that kind of ways. But once he's got started through the steps and he's realized those steps aren't somebody telling you what to do.
The freedom.
Right? Their freedom, right? I mean, did you see the difference once you started doing the steps, Nathan, that they weren't telling you have to do it this way? These are stepping stones to get in the right direction? Or did you still feel like you were being told what to do?
Well, and I shared this last podcast also, but when I sat down with Rob and Rob said to me, there's nowhere else in this moment that I'd rather be than right here with you doing this.
The bottom page 552.
Right.
And he was sincere about it. I can see it in his eyes. I can see he was getting emotional. I could see his eyes like kind of watering up when he said it. And that meant a lot to me.
Right.
Because, other sponsors, it felt like I was like, they had to make time for me. Rob drops everything he's doing for every sponsor he has.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he's taken so many guys through the steps, and he does a good job at it. And that's why I never had him asked him to do it with me, because I knew he would get me through them, and I didn't want to get through them.
I'm going to stay as far away from that motherfucker as possible.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Well, that's one of the greatest compliments I've ever received, too.
You know what? It's a true fact. I mean, and I said this to you when I said, I think it was when Bonnie and Katie were in here, and I told you, we kind of had our intervention with you that you need to fucking stop a little bit. Rob's looked at as, and I said it on the podcast, to me is the only way to say it. He's looked at as a celebrity when it comes to getting people through the steps, because he does it in such a way that if you do it the way he does it, you're going to stay sober. Right. Wow. You're going to, and you're going to get that peace and that serenity. I know when I walked through my steps with him, I got it. Right. I had a little bit of it before I started, but once I got through the steps, it just dwelled all over me. I had nothing left inside of me that I had no more to give out, because I dumped everything out. And I think that's where, what you said is like, I was stayed away from him because I didn't know any better. Right. I didn't. You'd been around him enough to where you saw that motherfucker is going to make me happy. That scares me.
Well, he wasn't ready.
Right. Right. So, Jamie, watching Nathan through those 6 years, what was that like for you? to watch that?
Well, it was good because I remember way back in the beginning when he very first left. I noticed a difference in him when he first got sober, and I was watching to see, is he really going to stick with it this time, go more than 6 months? And he did. But I have to say nothing really changed besides that he wasn't drinking and there wasn't that big, wrecking ball.
Right.
But he was only sober. It was only in the last year that it's like, whoa.
Sobriety.
No, just God's making a new man.
Right.
More than,
Right.
God, that's the only thing I can say. God has made him, he has changed him into a whole new man, 100%. And thank God.
Right.
Only God can do that.
Yeah. It goes back. What I said was sobriety, right? Because there's a difference between sober and sobriety, right?
Or dry.
Dry. I mean, that's one of the biggest things where I've seen people, to me, if I had to explain Nathan, he was sober, but then he got sobriety, right? And that sobriety is when God got into him and he had that spiritual awakening and, that changed all that and softened. And I don't want to say softened, but emotionally, would you explain it that way, Nathan? Softened you?
Yeah, softened is a good word.
Yeah, just softened him to where he was able to allow everything to happen, allow that to come in.
But then look what God has done to his life.
Oh my God!
How many times? Once that happened, how many times you've been asked to go? Go to. We talked about the lakes before you got here. Go to the lake. Go speak, and God just starts using him,
right?
Because he's
and we do it willingly, right? So Nathan, what are you working on right now? As far besides your jiu-jitsu, are you doing service anywhere right now?
Well,
at home.
Yeah.
Are you still putting that wine cabinet together?
So my kids just finally got done with the sports that they have been in, and the flag football. Shelby, my youngest, and then Miley has been in cheerleading. She was doing cheerleading and jiu-jitsu at the same time. And so, I go to work, get off work, try to get a little quick nap in. Then I get to take the girls to practice and pick them up from practice and go to jiu-jitsu myself. Yeah, and it's funny because Jamie had told me one night, I was like not wanting to get him. I took him everywhere for all of these years. It's your turn. You're doing it.
Bam!
And I'm just like, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I have a lot of catching up to do.
And you have, and I was just telling my brother a few nights ago, I don't even know how I did it without him. Like, I told him when we first got together too, I said, I'm kidding, I love you, I want to get back together, but I need you. I need you. The girls are running all over me. They ain't afraid of me. I'm having a heck of a time. I need you. We all need you, the girls and I. So, and he has really stepped up to plate, definitely making up for all that, going through it by myself all those years. We got this.
Say that again.
Right.
It's all worth it.
It's all worth it.
Right.
All of that hard going. And I do remember right before he went through the steps, he was in a pretty bad place of depression. That worried me at that time, and I was praying hard for him. But I think that was what you said, kind of, it softened his heart maybe, but it made him more ready to, okay, God, I'm going to.
Right.
I'm ready for what you got.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, because it's better than this.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go to the next step.
And I want to touch on that because there was a gentleman that shared something in the meetings the other day, the last Sunday meeting, John's meeting. He's got a sponsor, but hasn't got through the steps yet, but he wasn't feeling it, wasn't all the things that people are getting.
Right.
And if you are in the rooms and you're not feeling it, it's not because of something you're doing, it's because of what you're not doing.
Yes.
Ask yourself, what am I not doing?
Right.
What are these people doing that I'm not to get this? It's usually the steps, or it's something busy. It's, get into action somehow. So that's just.
For me, it's typically a service of some kind. I mean, if I'm feeling that way, it's typically because I need to do a service of some kind somewhere, somehow. I think what you and I do on this podcast is a lot of service. I mean, this takes I love Rob to death, but when we're done recording, I get to listen to these podcasts 4 and 5 times, right? I mean, but I'm recording them and putting them back together. And we only record every 2 weeks, right? So this afternoon or this evening, I get to sit and listen to this, and it's like sitting through 3 or 4 meetings for me because I get to re-listen to this. And I hear things from like Nathan or hear Jamie or hear John or, whoever's on the podcast. I rehear things because as we're recording this, I'm watching levels, I'm doing all this other kind of stuff. So I don't really get to hear everything like I should. And it's fun. I love it. So this is my service, and I put a lot of time into it. But if I'm not feeling that, if I'm feeling it's normally because I'm not doing something in service, and that's
what we're not doing.
Right. But On the other side of that, and I'm going to bring this up because we've talked about this before, is the mental health side of that, right? And I want to bring this up because it's a good topic. You know, it's no secret that I went back on my Wellbutrin and I started back on my antidepressants. And I actually started going back and seeing an actual therapist now, right? And that's just something for me to do. And, you know, we've talked about that many times, you know, to where, you know, don't be afraid to get professional help.
Well, that leads back to how free do you want to be?
Right.
Go, whatever you need, go get it.
Right. However that comes, and it's coming from me in a different angle because I'm able to, you know, it's almost like trying to explain to people that are around you all the time. And it's the same old conversations that we have. Right. And to get an outside perspective, and that's what I've actually reached out to, is getting that outside perspective of coming in a different direction and going, you know, because at my daughter's wedding, and this is one of my biggest contributing factors, at my daughter's wedding, I didn't feel like I was feeling everything like I was supposed to be feeling. And that bothered me, right? I was joyful and I was happy, but I just felt like there was still something missing.
I completely know what you're talking about.
Right.
What do you mean? Talk to him.
So, through all of, you know, the years before doing the steps and whatnot, there was many different moments.
You told me about this. Sorry, go ahead.
Many different moments in my life where I felt like I should be feeling a lot more joy, a lot happier, and, you know, just things that that I was doing with my kids and stuff, and I just felt kind of dull. Like there wasn't
just flatlined. Yeah.
And now I truly can feel all emotions, every one of them. And going back to joining jiu-jitsu, right? It was right after we recorded last time. Rob had mentioned that we're going to get into the room and start jiu-jitsu soon. And then Rob, I was on the phone with him and he said he was going to jiu-jitsu practice. And I was like, well, come pick me up, because if you don't pick me up now, I'm not going to.
Won't go, right?
And so we started on our jiu-jitsu journey, and that has been absolutely amazing. And I finally got into something, like, you know, people have hobbies and different stuff, right? And in all of these years, once I started drinking heavily, everything that I loved and had true joy in doing, I didn't do any of those anymore. And so to find something that you enjoy, you know, other than meetings, other than your family, something that you truly love doing.
Get those endorphins.
And, you know, for me and Rob, it's, you know, being on the mat, man, I feel almost better when I leave jiu-jitsu practice than leave.
Sore, but it says in Bonnie, I've shared on the podcast a couple times. My wife had said the same thing when I first came home, and after I dropped Nathan off, I'll call her. You know, I just dropped off Nathan. Okay, I'll get the bath ready with the Epsom salt, you know, for the old ass, the old bones. But I'd come in and she says, listen, I don't want you to stop this, because she was the look on your face is the same look you have when you get done working. You come home with the steps and you're on fire. You're just beaming. So don't stop.
Yeah, same with him.
And I had to find my joy. Finally, last few days, where you guys get in the jiu-jitsu, I get with working with wood. And when you guys leave here, I'll open up the garage door and show you what I built the last 2 days, because that used to be one of my greatest joys, was getting out and building stuff in my wood shop and doing stuff with wood. And I haven't done it in an extremely long time, and I finally end up building something that I'm pretty fucking proud of. And it's been a long time since I've felt that accomplished, and it felt fucking good.
And I got some great pictures when we got promoted. I'll tell you, my Bonnie, we got home and she was happy but kind of pissed.
Right. And
she was telling me a story. She goes, when Nathan was up getting his belt, Miley was in the back, and she says, and his daughter was almost in tears, just proud. She was in some motherfucker kept stepping in front of her, so I couldn't get her. I was so fucking mad. But then to watch him with her and watch that bond. I mean, I have a daughter. That again, those are the promises of Alcoholics Anonymous. Those are the promises of the program. Those are the hands of God in our lives. It's not just sobriety.
Yeah, brought them closer.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
And she's good. I mean,
and that's one of the things, like I said, why I couldn't wait to get Nathan and you back on and you on here, because that's what this podcast is for, right? Is the families.
Well, as Katie always says, bring Jason back on, because it wasn't finished.
Right. And Nathan, right. And let it get the finish, right? And
we need to bring Brandon back on.
Brandon, yes. There's so much that happens when those promises start hitting, right? And you see the joy coming back in another man's, you know, this watching
families back together.
And watching, you know, when our wives sat on here, and to hear my wife say this thing she says, I'm able to enjoy hearing that, right? And it's my wife, but to hear other alcoholics that can hear this going, shit, there's hope, right? There's hope. If I keep doing this, and if I keep doing the things that book tells us to do, or, my sponsor tells us to do, or, if we keep doing those things, these things are going to happen.
Well, that's the most important part. When you're doing, because having what took place with Charlie Kirk has gotten my wife into the Bible.
Right.
We're talking. So now she goes, would you please help me? So we are, because she always had a problem sharing her faith. Jamie might, because, well, Rob, I don't know what, I can't explain Romans 1:21 like you can. I said, people don't give a shit. When they're hungry, what they want to know is, what is that relationship with God done in your life?
Right.
That's what this pod, when we come back, this is what God can do.
Right.
If you get out of the way and let him.
Yes.
Steps, alcoholism, this is what God can do. This is what he's done in my life. That's our testimony.
And like I said, that's the joy of what we do, and walking people through the steps and seeing that light come back on, and seeing, like Rob said, seeing this and see the families come back together because of the work that Nathan has put in, the work he has put in.
And the prayers that this young lady never stopped praying. If you know God hears prayers.
Right.
That's...
So you never gave up, Jamie?
Never stopped praying for him ever since I've known him. Never stopped praying. Sometimes harder than others. And yeah. And I knew God was watching over him, because there were times when I just, when he's having a hard time, but he came through. Times when I was worried about him drinking and driving and stuff, God always had him. But yeah, thank God, because he did a really great work in Nathan.
And is still doing.
And is still doing.
And he's like, him and Logan are I just in the periphery, but they're the head coaches, Wednesdays, they coach little ones, wrestling, from the feet to the ground, then how that transitions to jiu-jitsu, and watching them with the kids, and Miley is helping coach with the females. It's just, I just sit back and watch what God has done, and it's just amazing.
Do you ever get overwhelming, Nathan? Do you ever get overwhelmed with gratitude where you're at right now?
Well, yeah, definitely. I have a lot of gratitude. I am so happy with my life. It's unexplainable. I can't explain the feeling that I'm content. Isn't the word. I don't even know what the word is.
And I think that's why I asked you, because there's just times where I'll be fucking driving down the road and think of just the joys, right, of stuff that it's in my life, and just that whole gratitude just overwhelms me, right? And it's like I was one drink away from literally losing every ounce of this. And because I turned my faith over to God and to these men sitting right here, right? Everybody in those groups of AA, and that's where I have the ability to feel this part of it, right? And going back to what I was saying, that feeling of that level where I'm leveled off, not feeling those highs and those lows. I feel it more now once I started working with an outside person than, not saying that the groups of AA, there was a part of me that I didn't know what me was, right? I didn't. I started drinking when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. I didn't know who the fuck I was inside. I didn't know if this was normal for me to be at this level. I didn't, because I was mantic before. I was highs and I was lows. I was highs. I was low. I didn't know where the hell I fit in at. But I realized this is just me. I'm okay right here, right? And once
isn't that something? I'm okay.
I'm okay. Right? I don't need to be up here. I don't need to be down here. I'm okay right here, right? This is where my family likes me to be at, and I'm okay right here.
I'm going to ask you a question, Nathan, because Jamie's Katie brought up a few times, and even Bonnie has. Excuse me. There is the group of Alcoholics Anonymous. There is the fellowship, but then there is something we have built, or God has built, more of a tighter brotherhood, right? A posse,
right,
if you will, and which is what Jamie's talking about, which is what Katie's talking about, which, the men of brother we go camping with, and we go, me and Nathan and Jason are on the mats. There's that's family. What is the difference? I mean, how does that change? Not just the fellowship, which is always there, but that tighter knit brotherhood of accountability. I mean, for me, I've never had a brother. I always had a sister, an older sister, and I used to beg God. And I was molested by females, so I was always closer to men anyway. I didn't trust you. I got what I wanted from females, and then I kept you at arm's length. So I was always close. I always wanted that. And it took me doing what I did, and finally getting this. I love this. What we got on Monday nights, and that's everything. Everything I've ever asked God for, that's it.
I get out of this what I never got from my dad and my brother and my grandpa, right? That's what I get. And I can tell you that I don't need to hear. I always wanted people to say, I'm proud of you, right? I needed that. And I worked my ass off for that, right? I would do everything I could to hear somebody say, I'm proud of you. And I got that from inside these rooms of AA, right? And because of that, I got it from my wife and I got it from my kids, right? Where I should be looking for it, not from outside people outside of my family, right? That's where, and being in this group right here, when you hear people say this, is I didn't have friends until I got into the rooms of AA, right? And that is a true fact, right? We had a lot of close friends that we ran around with, and we said that we would do things, but not like this, man. Not like this rooms, right?
You know, how many people could you call? I know. I mean, at any given time, no matter where I'm at, I need you.
Right.
And they'll be there.
Right.
No matter, I don't care if I'm across the state, I need you.
Right. Nathan, do you ever get to outside meetings?
Well, I used to go to some sometimes. Escalon is about as outside a meeting as I go to, and it's half the people there from Oakdale.
Right.
But honestly, lately I have been so involved in the kids and family and jiu-jitsu and all of that. I mean, I train 5 days a week.
Good for you.
And me and Rob got promoted in less than 6 months.
That's pretty good.
To blue belt. So definitely a fast track.
The wrestling helped. Or, our background in wrestling.
Oh, definitely. So I haven't been making it to as many meetings. I think I went, John knows, probably a couple months. In between meetings, I, just get so involved with life. My sponsor here had told me one time, we didn't get sober just to go to meetings. Like we got sober to have our family and be able to go.
That's why the book tells us
go to practices.
Yes,
right.
God got us sober not just to go to meetings, but to live life and take the gifts that He's given us, the life that He's given us, out to people who need it. Not sober or not, drunk or not, they need Him.
So service work has went on the mats. The coach, like Rob was saying, now my daughter's in there, and my daughter being in there is like the greatest experience ever. Like the biggest bond that we have now. Our bond was already great, but it has grown so much.
That's awesome.
Which is the reason I went in the mats because my dream was, with Logan before he got done with high school, because Barney didn't go with us on the long trips. It was just he and I. And I was telling him, hey, when we go to Reno, one of these days we'll do a wrestling tournament together. I'll get in shape. So I was on the mat with him, but then cancer came and that blew that. So I thought, then jiu-jitsu came and the new hip came and so now I'm on the mats with him and he's in my corner. That's why I did it.
Bond.
Just to get back with him.
Yeah, the bond is there. You said something, and I want to make sure, Nathan, you brought it up too, that don't let the A, go out, but don't forget where the sobriety happened at. I want to be very careful how we say that.
Don't let the life that AA provides get in the way of your AA life, which He hasn't.
No.
That's one. Two, God, and I'll say, I can't say this any louder. God did not fucking get you sober to live in a room of AA. Go there, get strength, and give back, absolutely. But the book tells us a greater demonstration of these principles lies before us this is top of page 24, or top of page 19, lies before us in our respective homes, occupations, and affairs. These principles are supposed to shine in our house first, with our wives, with our children, then your job, and then life. It's like Jay used to tell us, you may be the only big book that people read.
Yes.
Out there.
But does that give me permission to stay away from AA because my family's right here?
No.
Okay.
That's
the point I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny you're bringing that up because I was just about to get to that spot where I came to a realization like I need to go to a meeting. I felt a little bit frustrated, a little shorter with her, with the kids, and I was like, okay, I need to go to a meeting. So I went to John's Sunday meeting. And what did he pick as the topic?
Don't let the life that AA provides.
No, it was alcoholism, not alcoholism.
Yeah.
Was it? But then when he shared, he went on to say that makes him think of, don't let the life AA gave you get in the way of your AA life. And I'm like, looking at him like, you motherfucker. Like, you picked that, you said that, picked that.
Did you know I was coming? That's so funny.
But God speaks through other people.
Yes, 1,000%.
And I was like, okay, I get it. And so I've showed up to a
couple Sundays. I've been there, which I needed to. I've gone a few Sundays.
Yeah, a few Sundays after that, and then I was thinking, and I was sitting in one of the meetings, kind of talking to myself about why I shouldn't be there. That just those negative thoughts that creep up sometimes. And I was like, well, I don't have time to chair a meeting anymore, so I can't give service that way. I'm not a good sponsor, so I can't give service that way. You go to a meeting and you just talk in a meeting, that's service.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I leave that meeting, I go home. I'll home for 45 minutes to an hour. And Doug texted me and asked me to, and Doug wasn't at the meeting I was just at. And yeah, he asked me to share in Escalon. And so, I got to go tell my story in Escalon
Right.
again, which it had been about a year since I've shared there. And then that same day that Doug asked me, you text me like 20 minutes after that to come back on the podcast. And I'm like, okay, God, like I get it. And, and then this last Sunday I went to the birthday meeting. Because Sundays is usually the only one I make is John's. I like going to John's meeting. He does a really good job. And I say kid, but he's probably only 2-3 years younger than me. But he asked me, the one that was sitting next to me, he asked me to be a sponsor. And this was a few days ago, he asked me to be a sponsor. And I'm like, okay, like, he's like, would you like to meet him? I said, definitely, absolutely. Like, and I'm going to set up to go meet with him and get him started in steps and take him through them.
Why did you say that you're not a good sponsor? A just curious question.
Well, there have been a few sponsees that I've had that really it didn't have anything to do with me, but like blaming myself for a lot.
Right.
I can forgive other people and not blame other people, but I take a lot of too much accountability.
Right.
And sometimes with myself, I'm real hard on myself. And they would call, a couple times. I'd try to set up to meet with them to do the steps. They'd never show up. And so I just like,
Fuck it.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna
Right.
want this, I can't make you want this. I'm not gonna chase you.
I think that's where I was getting to, because I would always say the same thing. I'm not a good sponsor. I'm not a good sponsor. And I ain't going to sponsor again. I ain't going to sponsor it again until God hits me over the head. Well, the last 2 guys I've done well, and I've gotten more out of being a sponsor than I probably in any share I've ever done. I got more out of walking these guys through the steps than, because it's almost like I'm walking back through them myself again.
Every time.
And I'm finishing up another guy right now, and it brings me joy to do it. So to say that we're not good sponsors, I used to tell myself that all the time, but it was because I wasn't willing to do it. The minute I became willing to do it, I enjoyed doing it.
You would think I'd be more put together, but you think I'd be more put together because as many minutes I've taken through the steps. This tells you how much help I need.
Right. That to me is like the ultimate service.
I love it. That's
And you know what, Rob? And I'm glad you say that, because I am enjoying it, right? When I get asked to do it and I have the opportunity to do it, I literally enjoy it. You know why I was nervous to do it before? Because I really didn't know it that well, right? Now that I've done it once or twice and I'm starting to learn my way of that I like to do it, and it's about the same as Rob. It's just I do it a little bit differently.
well, and you a lot of times people don't want to do it because they feel if the guy goes and drinks or that they.
I don't give a fuck about that.
We don't get him drunk and we don't.
Right.
Do
I don't care about. I mean, I do. I don't want the guy to go get drunk, but I don't. It's not my fault if he does. Right. That's not.
So which pages I love by how much highlighting's on them. And my favorite page is 552.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I read to Nathan. He brought up, and it's not that I don't read this to everybody, but he just asked, and he was, and I hate to say this. No, I hate to say this. I shouldn't. He was special for me because of the relationship we had before, since he was 17, probably. There's that whenever you
mentioned that when he was on here the
whenever
first
you
time.
get to do that. I mean, but whenever I sit down with the steps, when God, because I believe, Jamie, when you get saved, they say, well, the Bible says, that you get there's spiritual gifts. I believe when you work the steps, I don't believe it, I know it. There's gifts that you're given. And if you exercise your gift in the rooms, it could be sharing meetings. It could be, my gift is sponsorship, obviously, And it says, the only real freedom is on page 5, the one down towards the bottom. The only real freedom a human being can ever know is doing what you ought to do because you want to do it. And for me, the only time in my life, there's many times I'm doing what I ought to do, what you ought to do, but
right.
It's your responsibility, so you do it. But the one time in my life where those two things are always in unison is when I'm got my book, a man in a room to get it, and this. I'm doing what I ought to do, but I want. But then with Nathan, it was a little more special. I'm not gonna lie, to do that, and I wanted it. That's just, I want to be there.
That kind of goes along with feeling true joy whenever your will and God's will aligns.
Right. And I think that for me, that's
Right.
exactly what that is.
Right.
It's a good point.
No, there is just nothing better than that. What you said right there, Nathan. That is by far when everything's clicking like that, and you're walking with God, and you're going right with that. Everything goes so smooth. But when God tells you, "I want you to do that," And I'm like, nah, I ain't going to do that. Right. You're over here and you know something's not right.
That piece is just not.
It's just not there, where that serenity, that you're just not there. Life is okay, but that serenity, but the minute you turn towards back what he wanted you to do, and you're walking through some bullshit that you didn't want to walk through.
Or you're not walking.
Right.
Like when John talked about the prayer that he asked God, he just wants to be able to go to meetings and not have to.
Right.
And paralyzed.
Paralyzed him.
And then, but he had nothing to do, but God gave him the answer to the prayer.
Right.
And he was grateful for that. Grateful for, how can man be grateful for that? But it's a God thing.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. One of the reasons why I want John on here, because I heard him in the room one time say he was grateful for what he's gotten, and I'm like, how the fuck could you say that sitting in a wheelchair? I mean, that's a big statement coming from a man sitting in a wheelchair.
It's a big statement when you know they mean it.
Yes,
when you know it's sincere.
Right.
That's what makes it profound. That's what hits you.
Right.
And then having to watch him from the first time he walked in, they're going back out, they're coming back in, God showing me all these things.
Right.
Just shows me how much more growing I've got to do.
I'm going to ask Nathan, so have you had, since you and your daughters and you guys have all been, you guys are living back together, I'm going to assume?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had conversations? I know I know because your kids are at an age where they've watched a lot of this, right? What's the ages of your girls?
13 and 14.
Yeah. So
they were
close.
6 and 7 when I got sober.
Okay. So they've watched Dad go through a multitude. Have you had an opportunity to sit and talk to them about this?
I wouldn't say necessarily like sit down and have like serious conversation, but
they know quite a bit because he's always been like good about talking about things that he's going through, like at meetings, and just about having gratitude and forgiveness. I can't really think of anything, but he comes home and he talks about when he goes to meetings and stuff. And outside of meetings, his life, like he lives how he goes to meetings and stuff. That's his whole life.
Right.
That's how he actually
and it's evident that it is. I mean, he doesn't.
His camaraderie that he has of his group of guys, like Rob, Jason, they're on the mats together when he has jobs. Jason's helped him. Everyone in his life is personal people.
Right.
They're like from the meetings. They've seen and heard a lot of everyone that's around us is like, sober life. Right. And but they're pretty smart. They're pretty
I think when I got an opportunity, when my daughter sat on the podcast here, it was the first time I've gotten to really hear some stuff that hurt. But honestly, it hurt. That's, I think, was what I was trying to get to, is if they've had the opportunity to like share with you their feelings
of how they were affected by
how they were affected. If they were,
they have at times, and it really hurt, and I think it hurt me more because I felt like, they've yelled at him before when we first got back together. They didn't take it
last time.
Last time?
Last time, Shelby and Miley they were like mad at him. And it just came out one night, and
I think I remember one of the times in particular.
They were like, "You left my mom, and she needed you," and I was like speechless. And he was crying, I was crying, and the girls are just like, those were real feelings that they had, and I didn't really figure on me forgiving him and them not.
Right.
So we had that talk, and that was very
I think that's what I was getting to.
We were in an argument. I was trying to find something, but I can't find it. We were in an argument, and I had one hand on the door handle
to walk out.
And
argument with your daughters or with Jamie?
I was in an argument with Jamie.
Okay.
I think, and they were part of it.
I think one of them got in trouble.
It was amongst all of us, and I go to walk out, like, because everyone was attacking me. Maybe they weren't, maybe they were. It's how I felt.
Yeah, that's how you felt.
And so I was just about to walk out, and I was going to go for a walk, cool down, whatever. And then that's when they said, "Just leave then. Just leave like you did when we were babies."
Ooh.
And yeah, it was. That was the last time that we tried to get back together. This time around, they have adapted very well.
And now they're doing amazing. I feel like they're thriving.
They gotta feel it. They have to just feel it. It's not that they have to watch. They have to just feel that tension has broke.
Well, and when I first moved back in, so I gave them a grace period where I was still like real soft, and recently I've had to transition more
to dad,
to being dad. and to disciplining,
Right.
to which me and her back each other very well.
Which
Good.
he
when it
decided,
comes
which
to
it has
stuff.
to happen. But that's,
Right.
Nathan shared that with me.
Yeah.
Which we co-parented well when we weren't together, and then so it just transitioned,
Right.
and they're starting to get it. Like they do not want to mess around anymore. They know, like, if I say that they're going to be punished, I'm going to stick to it.
No more shenanigans. They can't.
Dad's not going to be a pushover anymore. And that took some getting used to in the beginning because he was like, oh my goodness.
Well, you were probably
Oh.
trying to
Running
be a
along.
pushover just to not to create anything.
Be
Now
that
you're
guy.
you're back in the family, and it's like no.
You can't parent out of guilt.
Right.
No. And he does good with now. In the beginning, I felt like that he was.
I definitely was.
I was hurting them and they knew. So it made me, I have been the heavy the whole time. And now
heavy.
I have to be the heavy and he's here. Not it's like, it was, I know he needed that transition period. They had to get used to like Dad being back. And now they know Dad and I are in the same team. So you're not, don't.
How
let
long did
me-
that take?
It's been a few months.
But think
At
about
least-
that. It's been a few months.
Right.
God,
Not years.
No.
Yeah.
A few months.
I got a question for Jamie. Where does your faith come from? I mean, how long have you always been a believer?
My parents, I was raised Christian, pretty strict Christian home family. And my parents, when I was growing up, if you didn't go to church on Sunday, you were grounded the whole week. And I don't parent like that, but guess what? I'm glad that she did that today. And because it kept me in church. And then at junior high age, 7th grade, I went to private Christian school. So my whole life, needless to say, I rebelled at the age of 18 and I was like,
Like some of us do.
how you raise a child, they'll go back to it. Yeah, I was raised in a Christian home and my parents they're great. My mom in 2020 had a major stroke and she's bedridden now. She's paralyzed. And my dad takes care of her. My dad is a saint. Like oh my gosh, my dad's the best. He does everything that he did before and takes care of her. Yeah.
That brings up another good question. How did Dad accept you back in?
My parents have always loved him.
Really?
They've probably been waiting for this.
Right.
I think, well, she was talking to her dad about us getting married, and he said, "I think that's a win-win-win."
Right.
Yeah.
That's his exact words.
He
I
said
believe.
win, 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 win.
For all four of
yeah.
you.
I think that's a win, win, win.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely. Her mom absolutely loves and adores me.
Katie's mom's always said that she'd get rid of her before me.
But that's shit true?
Absolutely.
That woman adores me.
Give me 5 minutes.
When you're a parent, like, I haven't had to go through it yet because my kids aren't old enough. But I mean, when you can tell someone is good for good for your daughter and can see the change, like,
Right.
I've noticed so much change in her as well. Through these years, she has changed a lot.
How so?
Well, we rub off on us people that go through AA, go through the steps. We rub off on
Yes,
on,
we do.
on us,
Yes, we do.
on
She's
the
sitting
ones
right over
around
there.
us. Us talking about being in acceptance and being in
Right.
gratitude and not in self-pity and all the things that we talk about. They start thinking and start living that same
Absolutely.
way. And I think that was huge. I mean, me and her get along better now than we ever did. Than when we first got together.
Right.
Like, I feel like I love her more and more every day. And it's amazing.
He's very, very good to me. That my parents and anyone in my life, the people I work for and stuff, they can all see the change. I feel more relaxed now. I don't feel like I have such a burden on me. Some has been lifted off and pretty much like, he came in and just took a big load off me. And he's very good to me. He always says, "You're spoiled." And I say, "No, it's love." It's love.
We stopped being selfish. To me, that's what I contributed. He and I's relationship, how it's grown, is before, and I've said this all along, for the first 32 years we were married, because I got sober 31 or 32 years into our marriage, 31. I mean, I loved her. Don't get me wrong. There was some deep love there. But until I stopped being a selfish prick, and I didn't learn how to love another person as deeply as I love now,
Mhm.
right? And
No,
that's
I know what
not,
you mean.
and it's just,
I love myself more than anybody first.
Oh, I did. I did.
I know.
And I mean, and I didn't.
It is what it is.
I didn't have time to love other people because I love I just wanted me. Now I put me so far on the back burner, except for my mental health and, making sure that stays right. I just want to give everything to her and to my kids and to everybody else around me. I don't getting rid of that self just makes you love so much deeper.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of us are narcissists.
Oh yeah. No, for sure.
Completely. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what am I going to get out of it?
Yep.
It's all, me.
Motives. I think, I don't remember where I heard it at, but somebody said, check your motives almost every decision you make. I literally, if I want to go do this,
Why?
Why do I want to do that? And I got to check those motives, or I want to do this for that person, right? I want to do this for that person. Well, what's my motive for doing that? Is it for me? Is it to make me feel better, or is it to really, truly to help that person? Because
sometimes I do things to make me feel better, and it's okay.
And you're right, Rob, it is. Because every once in a while I need to do something for myself, right? That's okay.
Sometimes I got to rub out the poison, and it's okay.
Robert, I'm going to start calling you Brad.
Yeah, I knew you'd get that reference.
Damn it. But it goes back to that thing, and that's what you're feeling probably, is that he's just giving everything of himself, and he's not holding back, what he should have been giving to you all along, because he's in the same way for Katie. I think Katie feels it. And in return, I'm feeling from her what I've never felt before, right? Because I wasn't giving her all of me, right? I'm getting back from her stuff that I wanted forever, but it's only until I had to give it over back.
My wife didn't have everything to give. My wife couldn't give me all of her because she was mom,
right?
Dad. Sometimes I just come home and drink. So she didn't have enough.
Right.
And then until when I took my role as I should have, took the burden off of her, then the family blossomed.
Right.
But it's all about, God has roles for us to play. When we do it His way, by God, look what happens.
Right. And through all of that behavior, like a lot of resentment forms, right? And it was a few months ago. I remember right when it happened, I told Rob, we were laying in bed one night, and she was like, "Are you asleep?" Well,
I ain't now.
I'm not now. And she's like, "Oh, never mind." And I'm like,
"You can't do that."
I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Like, what? And then she said, "I just wanted to let you know that I truly forgive you for every single thing you have ever done." And that I was like, I'm about to cry right now.
I said that because I listened to, I can't even tell you who was on the podcast that day. I had been listening to the podcast, and I don't know, something in there made me think, I wonder if he needs to hear that I forgive him, And it just, I don't even know why I said it, but I remember his reaction made me feel like, oh my gosh, maybe I should have said that sooner, maybe. But it was just perfect because we're laying in bed at night. No, just peace and quiet.
And you gave him the gift you gave him was amazing.
And I didn't know that it would be that big of a deal to him.
Huge.
Well, and we even said, like, after that, and I had already forgiven her for anything and everything, any resentments I had towards her. But now we finally got to build from fresh.
Right.
And so, like, nothing in the past matters.
Right.
Like, all that matters is today and where we're at, and building off of that. Like, I don't live in the past anymore. I don't future trip.
Right.
So, that's where all that depression and anxiety is gone.
Right.
Because of that, because of living in the day.
Right. They say the past is the depression and the future is the anxiety. Right.
Yeah.
And if we don't live in either one of those and we stay in the now, we're golden. So, well, Jamie, that ripped me up a little bit. I couldn't even imagine, Nathan, how that had to. Did you actually feel a block of come off your heart right
Oh,
then?
definitely.
Yeah. When I heard her say it, I felt it come off of me. And it's not even, I had nothing to do it, but I could just imagine laying there in that bed and you're almost asleep, and to have her say that, I'm like, wow, that had to be pretty incredible.
It was really a moment where I was like, this is going to work.
Yeah.
Like we're going to make it.
He immediately, and we're just like laying there, and like, he was like just quiet for a minute. And I said, we're just going to start over right now.
Yep.
And he was like, oh, yeah, definitely. That's what let's start over. And I feel like from that, we both meant it. Wasn't like a planned talk, but it was like, we know.
It was a plan. Trust me. It was a plan. God said now. And those are God shots to me, right? That's.
And I want to point out one more thing. Even though Nathan, he's getting back to meetings and God's using him again. we would ride 2 times a week to the, I'd go pick him up, so he was always with,
Right.
talking to his sponsor. So it wasn't like he got away from everything, but, he's too old to be my son.
Yeah.
He's like a younger brother, but sharing those things with
Right.
me, and I get, just,
No,
and I know.
Rob, I truly feel like you're a father figure to me.
Yeah.
It was,
He just called you an old fucker.
That's fine. I'll take it.
yeah, and all the guys at jiu-jitsu call me grandpa. They should be calling Rob grandpa.
Yeah.
It's because of that big ass beard. You look like an old man.
Oh, dude, but actually, I want to ask you
love it.
something. But what about when he finally cut the hair?
Oh
I
my.
know.
How was that?
Oh, I'm the one that drug him down there. So it was amazing.
Yeah.
When he was getting it, I felt like he was like a little bit nervous, and I was like, what if he hates it? But he'll
That's
hate
good.
You got way too many compliments for you to hate that.
Yeah.
Because, dude, when I saw you, I was like, holy fuck, who's this guy? Handsome individual.
Well,
Yeah.
now before every competition, I get a haircut and my beard
Yeah.
trimmed. So it'll be
Trimming it back
I'll
up.
be trimming it again here in a
Yeah.
couple weeks.
So what's
I got-
the future in life for you
Yeah.
two right now? What's the future? I mean, obviously you're starting back over, is there a marriage coming or, say that a little bit.
Definitely, we're gonna be getting married. I'm kind of trying to rush us to. I'm ready to okay, we're back together.
Let's
Get
go.
married. Come on, let's
Right.
get everything in order. I feel like we're behind, but you guys just saying the future anxiety.
Right.
I mean, just to be
Yeah.
I need to
slow down.
slow down and not stress him out.
It's good to plan for the future, but not
Right.
Yeah.
worry about the
That-
future
that-
and try to rush and
Right.
stress out.
But I have big plans for us. Move from our little apartment and move into a full-size house and have a garden again. This guy has a green thumb like you wouldn't believe.
Really?
Yeah. He made a garden for me, a beautiful big garden in our backyard when we lived in our house before. And I want everything that we had. I want
I want it all back.
And the dog, and the truck, and the garden,
I know,
and the
but
house.
and the man, with
And the
this
man.
man.
You're
But,
getting a
yes,
different man this
I
time.
am, and it's
Yeah.
better. It
You're
was
getting a
worth
different one.
all
Well,
the
see,
wait.
I wanted to mention that I was really good at growing vegetables because I used to grow marijuana.
I wanted to say it. I
Pretty
wanted
good
to
at
say
it.
it. Oh my
Hey,
God,
it
that's
takes what
funny.
it takes, whatever the skill set
That's
comes in.
funny. All right, Nathan, man, I'm so happy to see you. Anything else you want to bring in? You're smiling. Nothing. You know what? Like I said, I wanted so much to get this only because these stories give me so much joy. And I know that if there's somebody out there that is struggling and they don't know what's going to happen, man, give it some time. Give it some time, a wife or a husband or whichever.
Well, you would ask the question too, Katie and Bonnie, or no, actually Mary did. Was the one thing you would tell, because he was the alcoholic. What would you tell a wife that's
Great
was in your
question, Rob.
position? Bonnie's was just, as long as there's something doing the deal, just hold on, don't give up.
Yeah.
What would you tell 'em?
definitely,
What would you tell 'em?
Hold on and keep praying. If you love someone, just keep praying for them and try to be supportive. I was supportive from a distance with him for a while, but after he worked and he put that work in, he kept talking about it all the time too. He accepted. When he finally accepted, I'm just going to be happy even if I don't get my family back. And he told me that. And something, when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, what
I
did you
can't let
think?
somebody else have all the
Same thing Bonnie says. Right?
And I was like, And
Hell
then-
no.
yeah, that alone. I'm like, I can't just let somebody else. Yeah, I
Right.
got to try. And thank God we did, because I'm the happiest I've been in, I don't even know how many years.
Let me ask you this question. Is
Absolutely.
he a better man now or when you guys had kids together? Which
Oh,
man would you rather have?
Definitely no. He's very good. He's a patient dad,
Right.
very loving and attentive. He's 10 times better now and good to me and the kid. It's very good. He's a good man.
Yeah, it's incredible, right? How we have to deny self. That
This happened. We initially separated 12 years ago.
wow,
So
12 years to get back to this.
I hope if anyone else is trying to get, their ducks in a row to get their family back, I hope it happens sooner.
But you said it a minute
This
ago.
is perfect timing right now. If I had to go through all that work and him too to get what we have now, all worth it.
Oh yeah, for
All the
sure.
hard times.
Wow. That's
Oh.
that's saying something. I mean,
All
knowing his story, and go back and listen to Nathan's story, podcast 38, because that's saying something. Jamie,
Yeah.
it really is.
all of it was worth it to have what we
Right.
have now.
That's I started to say something. I got my tongue tied. Like I said, you said it, put it in the work, right? I mean, Nathan put in the work, and that's what it was. Nathan, when you said to her, I'm doing this, and whether I get my family back or not, that was a decision you had to finally make.
And I had prayed to God too I prayed for my family. I usually would always pray for others. And I remember a specific prayer and saying, God, I want my family back.
Right.
But if it's not your will, then okay. And I finally truly
Meant it.
surrendered and meant it to the fullest. Like, if this is what you have for me, then I'm okay
Right.
with it. And it's just where I was spiritually in that moment. And it was like, as soon as I gave up,
Ceased fighting.
yeah.
Ceased fighting.
The door opens.
Yep.
Never
soon.
before.
Because we stopped trying to do it our way. We get the hell out of the way.
And
We do that.
God has made us, or the situations have made us the man, because God's doesn't fail.
No.
He's not going to put you in a situation to fail. So until you get to that point where I'm good with whatever you've got, then because I've asked many a man, are you ready? I mean, are you finally ready? Yeah, I'm ready. No, you're not. God, Rob, I'm ready for this fucking resentment to go away. No, you're not. Because if you were, he would have taken it.
Right.
And until that happens, the door's not going to open because you're not the man you need to be or the woman you need to be to make that situation
Right.
work. And God doesn't fail. So it's going to take more work. It's just.
Well, Jamie, you're a good woman. I can tell you that. You are. It is, it's, well,
He is that.
He is that. But I'm going to tell you right now, you putting your faith in God and sticking with it, you got a hell of a man out of it. I can promise you that. I mean, I obviously don't know Nathan as well as Rob does and a lot of these guys, but I've been able to watch him on the outside, and it's been a fucking joy to watch you, Nathan. It really has.
Yeah.
It gives me strength. It's fun. And I get emotional because there's so many people that struggle with that, right? That struggle with, that pain and that sober, that dry. And it's like, why are you doing this to yourself? Because I'm very empathetic when I watch it and I see it and I'm like, why are you doing that? Stop. Stop. And it's just like,
That's that spray we want to invent.
I know, but yes. And it's just like, why are you beating yourself over the head with a hammer? Stop doing that. Life doesn't have to be that hard. So I don't, like I said, I get emotional because I know that pain. I felt that pain. And when I see it get released from somebody else, I relive that. And I remember when all that anger got released from me. It's a great feeling.
God is good, isn't he? All the time.
Damn it.
Definitely.
I don't know why I got emotional on that. I guess because I know that anger. And I know. And to watch it go away.
But to see this,
Yes. Yes.
it's possible.
Victory! Yeah, it's awesome. Nathan, thank you for coming back. Jamie, it was awesome to meet you. Let us know. I love to keep our listeners updated. I like I said, go back and listen to Nathan's, the episode 38.
Recovery Unfiltered Podcast at gmail.com.
And to hear that journey, I mean, we've had so many great journeys. Mine with my wife and my daughters, right? Jason and brought Kim back. Mikey and brought his Kim back.
When you brought
Brad Grace.
Jason A.
Right,
Jenny
Jason
back.
and Jenny back. I mean, these are the stories that we love to get embedded into here, right? Because this is what the AA and the sobriety
So when
life.
yours comes full circle, we'll bring you back. It's coming. You wait.
Listen to you.
It's coming.
All right, guys. Thank you so very much. Thank you for joining us today.
We hope you learned something today that will help you.
If you did not, come back next week and we'll try again.
If you like what we heard, give us a 5-star review. If you don't like what you heard, kiss my... You can't say that, can you? Anyway, if you don't like what you heard, go ahead and tell us that too. We'll see what we can improve. We probably won't change nothing, but do it anyway.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Come back next week and hopefully something will be different and something will sink in. Take
This has
care.
been Recovery Unfiltered.